Hello, I'm Nicola Jones and I'm from Athena Professional. We help people develop human skills for a digital age.
And your client?
I want to tell you about our client LawNet, who are a procurement business for a range of about 70 small and medium-sized law firms across the UK. And we developed with them the LawNet Business Skills 101 programme for their associate tier. This is a group of people who are time poor but under quite a lot of pressure to develop their skills and capability and move up in the organisations as well. Of course, we're operating in a time of COVID, so we had to do everything virtually, and that helped us because historically we'd have done a one-day training event to do this. Actually, we were able to break it down, take people on a learning journey, and that was really exciting. It was a great opportunity.
Why did they consult you in the first place? What was their big problem?
Their big problem was, the challenge was to be able to help associates do their jobs really effectively and become commercially aware now, but also to be able to embrace the future and understand and be aware of what the potential for change is and equip them to feel competent and capable when it comes to embracing that change.
And the results, what happened?
What we designed was a program that took them from the known into the unknown. So we started with something that was familiar to them, and that was the business model in the law firm. And we developed and deepened their understanding of what their contribution could be to the firm's profitability. And that was in the first module. And the next step was to develop that, because it turns out that communication and human skills are crucial when managing clients and profitability generally. So that took us nicely into the human skills element and the emotional awareness piece. So we used Lumina learning tools to help them develop their own sense of understanding of themselves and their ability to connect with others, with their clients, with their colleagues, and to understand how it is that they could adapt and navigate in the future using the skills and strengths they already had. And then we put that understanding into work using project management. So we taught them about project management skills and we set them to work on small group projects which were of business value. And indeed they presented virtually using video and also a written report, and many LawNet firms are adopting the ideas that have come out of that work and going to put them to practice in due course. Well, the great thing about the Lumina resources is it means we can work digitally, and it's scalable, and it comes at a very reasonable cost, but it gives people the resources that help them learn over time about themselves and bring their best selves to work. So we can use tools like Lumina Coach, like Journey to Composure, to identify strengths, develop ability, and then give that story longevity and help people tackle the complexity of their own emotional and practical working lives. So what we want to do is to give people the skills to change the way they work in practice, contribute their ideas. So we're trying to make the learning virtual but really engaging and exciting and interesting, and using different platforms, which in itself was part of the digital transformation journey. Educating people about how they could start to think new ways about communication within the firm and beyond the firm with clients and other stakeholders. Lumina fits beautifully into that story because it's completely accessible digitally, and there are some fantastic tools that give learning sustainability. So we could introduce things and come back to them in group coaching or in individual work or in project work, and we could bring the whole story together and pin it on individual skills. That was really special.
And what's the viewpoint?
Well, I work alone. I work with associates, but most of the time I run my business on my own. And Lumina is my community. It's in a sense, my place of work, as it were. It's my network of fellow professionals, but it also provides me with people I really hold in positive regard. So people like Stuart Desson, Jane Armitage, Anne-Marie Dacey, and well, I could name many. But these are people who have the same values typically as me, and with whom I share an intention to help people learn to create a better world, really.
Remind us how your working practice is.
So what we try and do is inspire and motivate the individual so that they want to learn, because learning happens here, but learning also happens between people because human beings are social learners. So we try and create community in a variety of different ways. And that helps people to give the learning longevity, move it into the workplace. And there's also loads of added value there because people really are genuinely connecting and growing together. And that's a really supportive environment that hopefully takes them forward in their work practice and helps them really transition the learning into the workplace, which is where the magic sauce is the gold dust. That's what we want. We want to help people change their practice for the better.
So when the magic happens, what do you see and how do you measure your success?
Well, measure success by doing some benchmark surveys and tracking that over time and then measuring again at the end. But it's not all in measurement.
No.
What we tend to see is people start to flourish and grow and feel more confident and aware, particularly when you make them aware of possibility of change through digital transformation. That can lead to some apprehensions, but also some growth and some ability to connect to that. So very often we're not asking people to become experts in that world, but merely to relate to it and to be able to work with others who are. That's a starting point. So the conversation is starting to happen. And that is enormously empowering. It allows people to face into the future and empowers them for the future with confidence. And that's really important because people who are leading now need to transform. We're living in complex times. We need people to exercise courage, reason and compassion in that new world. But people who are coming through the leadership ranks also have to do so with this level of awareness too, because otherwise they're becoming the leaders of the past and not the leaders of the future. Well, Lumina's tools are really powerful and also fun. And even serious-minded people need to have fun when they're learning. It really makes things come alive. So there's a great range of Lumina tools, psychometric tools, but there's also great methods to deliver those tools. So we've been able to adapt our programs very easily through the pandemic to become completely remote or hybrid, whatever people need and want. But that again adds to the value and adds to the longevity of the work. So we can break learning down and learning can happen over time, which is much more powerful. And we can use Lumina tools to support that. And what we find is that people start to engage with the tools and the penny drops for them, and they learn to use the tools and the profile over time and connect it with their daily work, and then we get much more value from the use of the tool.
And you see this time and time again as an epiphany, and then they're able to change for the better and use tools to help them.
Yes, so the sweet spot is when we are able to reflect on the journey and see the value of the tools we've been using and connect the day-to-day with the behavioural piece, and now we're starting to think in a wholly creative new way.
Thank you very much. And you see some outstanding results?
Yeah, I think what really helps is that you work with a win-win situation. So people have to be invested, motivated and inspired at an individual level, but also we try and create community using digital resources and platforms that give the learning longevity so that we get into engagement and peer support over time, and that offers great value and lots of added value as well because we're offering that ongoing community.
And as the Lumina